Hello, welcome to this video lecture on economic distance and its impact on logistics. Economic distance means things cost different amounts in different areas of the world. It drastically alters how one person sees an issue as well as its solutions versus their counterparts in different parts of the world. The most important component of economic distance is labor costs. Minimum wage rates range from a low in Laos of 50 cents an hour to Australia at about $14 per hour. This disparity rapidly increases when skill sets are added. For example, the Laos miner makes about $1.06 an hour, while an Australian underground excavator makes $100 per hour. This provides us with a wage disparity of approximately 100 to 1. So we can hire 100 miners in Laos for every excavator operator in Australia. So the process of mining is often accomplished in Laos without underground excavators. That costs between $100,000 and $800,000 to purchase, or the equivalent of 100 man hours or more in Laos. Now imagine you are an Australian mining manager trying to explain the importance of an excavator to your Laos business partners. However, the Laos teams just keep saying, we don't need it, while the Australian keeps saying, it will save us thousands of dollars in mining costs. What are you thinking? So, you see, the economic distance causes problems in marketing and management and other business concepts. Your first video question is, which of the following has the biggest impact on economic distance? Please choose one of the four answers below the video in Canvas for question number 1. Your answers will be automatically graded and entered into your Canvas grade totals. You can pause the video at this time if you need more time to answer this question. You may also rewind the video if you need to re-examine the previously presented material. Other factors influencing economic distance are the availability of specialized equipment, technology, and infrastructure. Often these items are more expensive in poor countries, even though you might think it would be less. Existing employee skill sets, or the availability of employees with specialized skills, or the cost to train employees and the availability of training programs also comes into play when examining economic distance. For our next example, let's transition from mining to marketing and logistics. Hand trucks are still used exclusively to move freight in many parts of the world. First, people who move freight in many parts of the world are inexpensive workers, and a forklift costs between $15,000 and $100,000 US. Second, forklifts are often more expensive in poorer countries. It is difficult to find qualified repair personnel, and no trained operators are available. Bringing in expat operators to train the local employees can also be an expensive proposition. Perhaps the next figure will help put things in perspective. In Australia, we probably only need to replace 2 employees to cost justify a forklift, but in Laos, the cost justification figure is 60 employees or more. There's quite a difference. In addition, the rest of the world's infrastructure does not always support big trucks or containers. The roads might be too tight, the bridges too weak, so trucks are limited to 20-foot containers. Also, the seaports are not deep enough for large container ships, so only smaller ships are permitted. Due to high population densities and the corresponding cost of real estate, there is often no room allocated for loading docks. Everything goes in the front door with the customer, and they carry it in by hand or on hand trucks. These issues can be compounded in older cities when roads were built to accommodate only people, horses, and small wagons. When we contrast this with the logistical processes in the United States and Europe, the differences are pretty alarming. Loading docks, that is docking stations for trucks that allow forklifts to drive into the truck's loading space, are commonplace. The U.S. operational efficiencies, employee cost reductions, worker safety, and technology are all critical components of logistical competitive strategies and are derived by infrastructure enhancement, improved technology, and employee skill sets. As you can see in the video behind me, the employee is even shielded from outside temperatures, winds, and so on. Pretty nice. Now let us contrast the differences and the impact these differences have on logistical plans. Can we get our suppliers and buyers to invest in loading docks and forklifts? Probably not. So we must send or receive shipping boxes smaller in weight and size so they can be handled manually. We might even need to expect the unloading technique behind me to be implemented in some instances. Your second video question is, what types of countries are more likely to have loading docks and forklifts? Please choose one of the 4 answers below the video in Canvas for question number 2. Once again, you may pause or rewind the video if you so desire. We'll also see other logistical differences based on governmental involvement that impact processes, such as non-tariff barriers. Sometimes fees are collected based on archaic processes, and these processes cannot be changed due to government mandates. Or we might see oligarchies existing with governmental protection and thus alter business alternatives within a country. Can we expect our latest ERP, that is Enterprise Resource Planning Systems, to be implemented globally? Well, the good news is that this is often more feasible than a loading dock, since population density is not an issue and infrastructures do not need to be drastically altered to implement ERP. However, even though most of the world is now perhaps even better at their smartphones than the typical US consumer, many parts of the world are still behind when it comes to implementing and training of complex systems. So our answer to this question is 3-part. That is, expect some full ERP partners. Expect some partial partners due to other limitations like warehouse efficiencies. And expect that some trade partners cannot use ERP. Your third video question is, what is likely to be the biggest impediment to implementing an ERP system throughout an entire global supply chain? Please choose one of the 4 answers below the video in Canvas for question number 3. Once again, you may pause or rewind the video if you so desire. This concludes our video lecture on economic distance. Thank you for watching.